And so what is it to be a human being? What is it all about? What is this big mystery all about? Why so very few of us can actually see into higher realms clearly and understand a little bit more, not all of it, but a little bit more. It's really just a little bit more. And so what is our purpose as human beings in this lifetime? Has it always been the same? Those are great questions to ask. And so let us ask the big questions. So I think it's really important to know the meaning of our own life. Otherwise, how can we actually experience the fullness of our own being and to experience the highest potential of who we are? So humans have been living in a very suppressed unconsciousness, some consciousness, mostly unconsciousness. You know, if you should look at it energetically, you would say 80% unconsciousness, 20% consciousness for the average human. That's a lot of unconsciousness. So why do we do what we do here in this group and all the other ones? And that is, we want to step fully into consciousness. And what is full consciousness? Full consciousness is Christ consciousness, cosmic consciousness. It is all love. And how do we get there? Well, first we have to dig through some dirt, as you know, and we have many different ways to do it. And so I introduced, you know, this image here, which is something that was shown to me by our Mother, Father, God, that we as humanity still have some work to do, of course, because you know, you and me, we are every day responsible for so much life force. And not many people know it. You know how many people go through life not knowing that they are constantly, subconsciously creating? Now, if it was conscious creation, that'd be amazing, because then we would not have this residue here, these sediments, the cloak of human unconsciousness. And that's pretty much what Yogananda taught me as well, to every day get rid of the cloak of humanness, he called it. You can call it the cloak of unconsciousness. You can call it also what Patricia Cota Robles now is guiding us through, you know, the invocation to the electrons. We also are uncloaking the electrons, isn't it? So we are really uncloaking life force. And what is life force? Let's talk about that too. Is there sound? Do you guys have sound? There is sound to me. Okay, great. So if you don't have sound, just, you know, turn off, turn on, come back on. This is usually how it works. And so I'll again try to share from like the depth of my own consciousness, what I've seen, where I've been, and why we are here. So, you know, after many years of very, very intense meditation practice, which I combined with a normal daily life. So, you know, I don't want to say I sat in the mountains and I meditated. So I'm a wife, we have children. And when I was going through my intense meditation practice, our oldest daughter, she was about 6 years old, and I was meditating as much as I could. And those kids, you know, they go to bed early, so you get to meditate as much as you want at night, and then all night, and then so on and so on. So whenever you could make time. I also worked full time. I had an office job in the political kind of world in Berlin and Brussels. So again, you know, it's 8 to 5. So then again, how do you squeeze in meditation? And I share it so that everyone knows, you know, it's possible to make time if you feel like it, of course. And so my soul was really pushing me, and she was talking to me. And in Berlin, when I was living in Berlin, you know, I would always ride my bike, which is, you know, how people get around in Berlin usually. And so my soul would always be above me, talking to me. And that was so amazing. And she would say, well, Adi, you know, it's not 8 o'clock yet. How about you quickly sit on a bench and meditate before, you know, you have to go in? And then the fun thing was, and this is really fun, you know, you step into more and more and more of service. You become a vehicle for your soul, for your spirit, for the ascended masters and all the master beings who work with humanity. And so, for example, I was asked by all my amazing guides to do a real big service, and these were the Elohim. And they were asking me to do what I would call kind of magic of light. And that was, you know, working in politics to bring in as much light as possible into the physical, even building. And so I did that every morning. I was drawing in the light into the building, you know, of the European Commission, which is kind of the government for the EU. And so it was a lot of amazing stuff going on. And why I'm sharing it is because the meditation has to lead to something. It has to not just make you feel good, because that is the foundation to understand yourself, to understand how you operate, to understand your own mind, to understand how you are in charge of your being. And so if you are in charge, you are driving a car. And I always say this car is the most expensive car on this planet. And it is not only a physical vessel, which will come and go, but you have an amazing car, which is really all the different systems within your being. You have your etheric body, you have your mental body, you have your emotional body, you have your heart, you have your consciousness. So that is knowing how to operate the system, right? Knowing how to operate the system, that is the key. So this is what we are learning here as human beings in this lifetime, and we've been learning that for a really long time. How do we operate the system of the human being? And so again, everybody will find different ways. Everybody will find whatever works for them. I say it has to be a path that you love. So everybody loves different options that we have in this world. It doesn't even matter. Some feel like they want to do the yogic path. Some do the Aboriginal path, the shamanic path, the native path, the mystical path, the Christian path, the Buddhic path. It doesn't matter at all. As long as we arrive in that place of knowing who we are. And when we know who we are, that's where the game really begins. We become 100% responsible with all that we are. And that is our really number one. That's the first stage of our, we want to get there. How to be responsible so that we are not adding to the sediments here, so that we break through what we have already used as life force, so that we put sparkles and kind of explode it all and say, I'm done with misusing life force. Misuse is a big word. Do you guys have a better word for that? Because to me, it sounds like blame. I don't want to make it sound like blame. So not using with love, not using with consciousness, not using with knowing. And so after all my meditations, for these many years, you always have breakthroughs, misdirected life force. You have breakthroughs. And these breakthroughs first maybe are little, you start seeing stuff, your third eye opens, later you have visitations, you have very mystical experiences. And really that is all very nice, but what's really important that you change. Beautiful. Thank you for the feedback. And so the change, we call it transformation. That is the key. But the thing is that in this civilization, what we are doing, it's not such a huge victory when we transform ourselves, because that's just saying, oh, I remember who I am. So it's like, okay, I woke up. I remember that everything that I say, feel, think, and do has some consequences, and that my life is always a mirror. And that Divine Mother always has to mirror everything that we are, not only individually, but also collectively. And that is why we always want to be in service to all our brothers and sisters. Because how nice it is when one of us achieves enlightenment, so-called, and then we go and hide with it and say, oh, I did it. That still doesn't really help the world. It is really in service. And I always mention some of the favorite mystics that I personally felt always drawn to. And one of them is the Israeli, engineer Ishak Bentov. And Ishak, he had awakened life force within him, just like Yogananda. He was perceiving everything more through the Kabbalistic point of view. He was able to see into all the universes. He wrote such beautiful, funny books, tiny little books, just really thin. He made all those kind of drawings like an engineer. It was somewhere in the 70s and 80s. So there are some videos online that his wife made because he died in a plane crash. And he became genius, of course, just like Yogananda. These beings, when the life force is activated, which is our goal for all of us, it actually is for all of us. And of course, for life force to be activated and to become genius, which is our true design, that's our true design. Our true design is to be like Yogananda. Our true design is to be like all the great avatars. Our true design is to be just like them, if not better. I think Uncle Jesus said it too. And so the only thing is, as human beings, that we are still dealing with so much all around us, right? And so I wanted to say about Ishak Bentov, when you have his book about higher consciousness, it's fascinating. If anyone can put it in the chat, You can listen to all the videos. He's brilliant, sense of humor, you know, so many inventions, of course, like Tesla. They all had one thing in common, and that was awakened life force. They all then seem to have the same thing, genius. They speak languages without learning. They are able to kind of perform miracles. They see through all things, and really they awaken their own highest self, and then they are able to really help others to do the same. And so he was meditating, and then he unleashed everything within himself. And so the fun thing was he was able to travel through all the dimensions. He described it so well, made so many beautiful drawings. I don't know how many universes he discovered. I think it was an unbelievable amount, you know, not even possible to count. So fascinating. Watch the videos on YouTube. They are old videos, but so full of amazing 100% knowledge. He discovered the flames of divinity, you know, that are visible in other dimensions. But one of the things that he discovered, he also met some yogis, you would say maybe ascended masters, you know, who already made it. And he found that there are two places where these amazing beings go. One place, he called it the kind of fake nirvana. Those are the beings who achieved nirvana, but they never served anyone and anything with it. They just felt like, oh, I achieved it, I'm in bliss. And so he said that's a fake place to be. And then he discovered the other place, which was all these amazing beings who discovered this bliss, who discovered and reached nirvana. And they went and they started helping others. And he said that was the only way forward. Everything else was a trap. And so that's why we are here. We are here, number one, to take all the life force we have ever used. And I'll speak about that as well. And first, we need to clean up our own plate. And Yogananda, you know, when he worked with me, the number one thing, as you know, every single day for 2 years, I had to clean and clean and clean. I was never able to start any other work with him without cleaning first. And he gave us such simple step, which you can find in the 4 videos or 5 videos on YouTube, which we made. And that is working with the living fire of God. And whether it is a violet flame for you, or it is the living fire of God, whether it is burning, you know, in your candle, whether it is burning in your fireplace, it doesn't matter. But Yogananda always asked me to actually kind of just envision the living fire of God. And we would be meeting every day with Yogananda in his hermitage in Encinitas, where there is a fireplace and a living room. And so I would sit on the couch with him and he would sit with me. And first thing he said, Adi, throw into the fire of living God all the cloaks of humanness, the cloak of humanness. And he always said, look how brown it is. And so you would think you throw it in and you're done. But I came back the next day again, Adi, first the cloak of humanness. So again, brown cloak. And I thought, oh my gosh, how many times do I need to do this? And so I had to do it for 2 years every day, every single day for 2 years. And does it seem long? Does it seem short? I have to tell you, it's really short when you think about it, that you can burn all that karma. It really is. You can say karma, again, big word. Everybody, you know, goes like, oh no, that's your karma. And I think, no, it's not something that was given to you. It's something that the life force was flowing through us so beautifully and was asking our being, what do you want me to become? What do you want me to become? What do you want me to become? The thing is that happens in every split second with every breath. In this lifetime, have you ever had a moment where you went into unconsciousness? I have many unconscious moments in this lifetime. That's amazing, isn't it? Maybe amazing, maybe shocking how many unconscious moments we've had in this lifetime. Is it our fault? Is it the system? Is it the world? It's all of it. It's all of it, you know. So we are returning to innocence. And what is innocence? Innocence is actually, I don't know what it sounds like to you, but innocence is when we become unburdened. When we let go of all this, the garbage here, when we transmute it, because there's no other way, you know, we are responsible. Yogananda had a shortcut, by the way, and everyone can explore his shortcut if it works for you. And that is give it all to Divine Father, give it all to Divine Mother and say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And Gerge, I know that you know all the quotes from Yogananda, so please confirm in the chat how best to give it back to God and say, I'm sorry, you made me, you sent me into this world, you have it. Yes, thank you. And so I often do that. So, you know, like it's good to just also have a sense of humor, because Yogananda had a great sense of humor about all of this too. And so we are here. I want to also speak about this elemental substance, what it looks like, what it works like, and why we do what we do, and how you will benefit immensely from this, you know. So elemental substance, which comes from source, looks like this. And this is an image that, you know, Daniel Holman helped me to create, because I was sitting next to him and he was using his computer, amazing talent. And I said, Daniel, can you please make it like this? This is what it looks like when source is emanating light. So this is as good as we could create it. Basically, that beautiful golden white light that you see in upper corner, to me, that was like what I was able to witness as source. And then source to me was, that was the first kind of level of creation I got to meet without any personality. So I didn't have the mother god, I didn't have the father god. This was just light. It was, so the upper right corner is golden white light. And so to me, this was like meeting source, you know, and it was just amazing emanation, like from a sun, but multiplied by billions, of course. And then I was able to see the, I don't know if entire cosmos or not, it doesn't even matter at that point. But you see, there is a web. You see the web that is permeating everything. You can see the web really well, the bottom right corner, if you see it the way that I see it. And this web is connecting all the beings, and we all are the light beings. You see the light, that's us. We are the stars. And so I was explaining to Daniel when I saw this, like some of us are really big, some of us are really small, but everyone has, at most of us, and I would say, you know, there's always those beings who don't want to receive the light, but very few of those. So I don't even have them here in the picture. We are the stars. We are the stars. And depending on how much we build our magnetism, depending on how we build our beautiful hearts, depending on how much consciousness we have, depending on how much we have service, depending on how pure our thoughts, feelings, and all of that is, we grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And there is no judgment in any of this. There is simply an ambition of every single one of us, every star that we are, and that's exactly what we are. Deep down, we all are stars. And again, I only share what I've seen. And if it is not the full truth, that totally, absolutely, I would say it is not the full truth. But this is just what I've seen. I don't even call it truth. This is just a really helpful picture, hopefully, because I think about this all the time. If we are stars in creation, then the only way to grow and be bigger is to have the dreams within us. And the dreams are the dreams of experiences where we show who we are to ourselves. We are not really showing it to someone else. We are showing it to our own self. That's why it's called self-realization. And we all take our own time, if time even matters. I don't think it does. Because the time that we perceive as time is actually not the reality of this level of creation. Imagine us like this, all of us beautiful stars, and the source is constantly emanating light, constantly. And that light is coming in and we emanate it out. It's going in, we emanate it out. There's a rhythm to all of this. And so the rhythm is in and out. It's just like the breath of cosmos, the breath of the universe. It's breathing, it's a breathing living being. And so at this point, we need experiences, don't we? Because how could you have anything make you bigger if there is nothing happening? And so the happening is what we would call the cosmic dream. It is only in the cosmic dream that we all are dreaming. We are all part of the cosmos itself. It's dreaming itself. And that is for that really important reason, to show to yourself who you are, to get to know yourself and to see how you react, how you act, who you are, that only you can learn through experiences. And I don't know if you guys would agree to this. It is only through experience that you get to know yourself. So whatever is around you is always teaching you. It's never, and Divine Mother told me this. She came to me one night and she was talking to me about a person that I was really close to. And the person was struggling a lot in life. And Divine Mother said, please share this. It is not happening to you. It is absolutely 100% happening for you. And so if everything is happening for us, then in every moment, it is never that we are any victims of any circumstances. We always have full power within us. And that power is something, it grows, it grows, it grows, it grows with every time when we meditate, when we do something for the earth, when we do something for Mother Nature, when we understand the treasure that is happening here. This is not all that real, because actually, and I got this information from source itself, nothing really is all that real. And so, I came from this very angelic queendom experience all my life. And so I ask source, because you can ask anything you want. Source will always respond to every single one of us when we ask. And so I'm there, talking to source. And I say, so also the angelic worlds are not real? And source said to me, no, they too are beautiful dreams. You live in a world where people are dreaming this, the angels are dreaming that. It's everyone's choice what they want to be dreaming. And then I said, well, what about all the shamanic worlds? They believe all these worlds exist beyond our reality. And source said, that too is a beautiful dream. And I thought, what about the world of ascended masters? Is that also a dream? Yes, that's also a beautiful dream. Everyone gets to be participant in this dream. So what is real? So the only thing that I found to be real is this fabric of reality where everyone's a light, everyone is a star, and then every single star is dreaming. Every single source is dreaming. We have many different, levels of sources, because the suns really are a certain level of source. And so at this, you see that as cosmos. And so what Gurga is saying, the only thing that is really cosmic consciousness. At that level, there is true, yes, thank you, pure existence. It is unchanging, and yet it is evolving. So certain change happens, of course, otherwise what would be the purpose, right? So unchanging meaning it is not life and death anymore, but actually it is constant expansion, evolution, more light, more light, more light. And I do believe from all that I've seen that one day everyone will become such a big light that we all will create kind of almost like a new creation. Everyone will, that would be like, if you want to call it the Big Bang. I do believe that when everyone becomes a bigger light, and one day we will go through a huge breakthrough again and create again this explosion of consciousness. So it will never end, really. But there will be changes that always add, to me, positive changes, beautiful changes. So remind yourself, we are all dreaming. We really are. And it's okay. But there's also a bigger picture, And the only way that this is not chaotic is that we are magnetic. And so we draw to ourselves everything that is actually already within us. And so we want to be so magnetic and draw to us all the good things that we love. It's all about love, right? Not kind of the polarity of things, but it's about love. So when we become all love within, we become that amazing magnetic heart that draws to itself all the great things, not out of selfishness, but that is self-realization. We are magnetic beings. And what is magnetic within us is our love for this, for the divine that created all of this. It is our relationship with our mother, father, God, whatever. If you want to pick mother, it's okay. If you want to pick father, it's okay. If you want to pick source, it's okay. If you want to pick, the Buddha, Krishna, it's okay. It's all very, very helpful, giving us a certain level of magnetism. But also we are cleaning up. So around us, every single one of us lives within a certain type of matrix that we created. This matrix, to me, it's a good word, but it is strings of energy that we created ourselves by drawing in the elemental substance, which always is beautiful rainbow light coming from source. So the elemental substance comes through us, and we unconsciously, very often, mostly unconsciously, give information to this elemental substance. The elemental substance is the 5 elements of Divine Mother. And so I'm only sharing what Divine Mother showed me, so it's helpful because I only understood it when she showed me this. And she's looked at the strings and she said, some are so beautiful, some are broken. This is the fabric of our reality. It is really the quantum strings. And so Divine Mother gave me a shortcut that I always share with everyone. And I highly recommend the shortcut to fixing this field around us every single day until it's all done. And you will know when it's all done. And even then we go into service to others, chanting Om. And she showed me. So she had me chant Om just a few times. And it doesn't matter how you sound, as long as you do it because you know why you're doing it. And you chant Om and you allow it to sound through you and around you. And that one Om changes the strings and makes them perfect again. And to me, that's the most magical tool. I always say Divine Mother, she is the lady of shortcuts. And so I do 3 Oms every morning, but I chant actually more, but the basic is 3 Oms in the shower. Ideally, put some water into your palms, hold the water in your hands and chant Om into the water, because this is big magic. You send the water into the world, of course, and then Om is moving through the pipes in this world and it comes to others as water. And Om and, water together, it's to me, water magic, elemental magic. And so this is really important. We have fields around us that for most of us, we are unconscious. Isn't it true? We mostly don't know what's around us. And so a simple Om every day. My grandmother used to say, an apple a day will keep the doctor away. 3 Oms a day will keep this and that away. And so once again, one more thing about this elemental substance. So we often work with the elementals of nature, elementals of Mother Nature, but we also are responsible for actually creating elementals. Most human beings, believe it or not, create 80% of demonic elementals through their thoughts, feelings, actions, words. And that is, the vast majority of just average human being. 20% of what comes through us becomes angelic. That means goodwill, love, kindness, care, compassion. That creates beautiful angelic elemental substance. Now we are forever responsible for any life force that came through us, whether we created something beautiful or not. I like it. An aura in the day will keep the darkness at bay. Absolutely. But first we go through the cleaning process. So never give up cleaning until, and how will you know when you're done? How will you know when you're done? That's a really good point, isn't it? You will know because your life is a mirror. When all is clean and beautiful, when all your thoughts are clean and beautiful. And, you can help yourself too. I'm not a big believer in affirmations, but I do repeat certain things to myself. And that, because I think affirmations are just like putting a Band-Aid on a very dirty energy body. We first need to dig through those holes. And then affirmations are just wonderful. Yes. Beautiful words that absolutely. And so one of them is, telling yourself, I have beautiful thoughts. I have beautiful feelings. I say that to myself quite often. I have beautiful thoughts. And then immediately the thoughts are like, ooh, how beautiful are your thoughts? Your thoughts are like flowers. So yeah, when we are done, we will know absolutely. And then, of course, we want to serve every brother and sister to end their suffering, to show them the way, to share the tools we found that work, and everybody might be sharing whatever tools they found that work. For me, it's the path with Yogananda and the shortcuts he gave us. Because again, Yogananda, he came to me in 2010. It was in Encinitas. And so the shortcuts he gave, they were applicable and appropriate for that time on planet Earth, 2010, 2011, 2012. I finished my discipleship with him in 2012. And so, it's different. The energy is different. Absolutely. And then the Kriya Yoga, for me, it was like, he just came and he gave me a transmission. I didn't even know about Kriya Yoga because I didn't want to learn anything from a book about him. So one day someone mentioned Kriya Yoga and I said, I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is. Don't tell me, because I want to experience everything directly from the yogi, in the higher planes. And so he then gives shortcuts too, because now it's the time to do shortcuts. So this is in shortcut. And with that, we will go into this beautiful, beautiful beautification of who we are. And this meditation we're going to do, it's from this beautiful album with Oren. And again, it's working with the angel of the Devas. And why is that important? It is because within us, we also have those little devilish devas. And so we want to remove those devilish devas. And, anytime we had some really, like let's say depression or dark desires or anything, lust, all that stuff, anger, it creates these devilish devas within us. And so we want to responsibly, not just remove them, but we want to say, okay, I'm ready to let go. Thank you for helping me to transmute all that. There's so much that creates these. And so we're going to do the second track, which is typical for Divine Mother. This is a beautiful, beautiful track where we work with all that Divine Mother is as the Deva of the flowers, as the Deva of the beautiful, nature and all of it. The sun, she also is obviously the mother of the sun. Yeah. And so again, everybody will find that whatever works for you will be the best path. Please always just follow your heart, because your heart is the best guide you have in this reality. And so I'm going to stop recording. So this to me is just really following the guidance of Divine Mother. Divine Mother will always want you to put beautiful flowers at home, to have beautiful colors. Since I started working with Divine Mother, it changes your wardrobe, it changes your house, it changes your front yard, your backyard, how many plants you have at home. Everything changes, everything becomes a ritual actually. And that is the wonderful way to live, again, is to live as if your day is a ritual. And even going to bed is a ritual where you open yourself up to these beautiful divine worlds that become easier to access. And so it's all a ritual of what? Of love. One thing that is really important for those, who want to open up to these other worlds is that our love is really magnetic. So that's the reason why loving the divine self, loving Divine Mother, loving Divine Father, loving, something bigger than the self. When we fill our heart with that love, it becomes very natural. And I saw a quote by Sadhguru this morning, which I think explained it very well. He says, when you deeply are in love with something, it becomes more important than yourself. And so this is what we are doing. We truly fall in love with life, God is life. And then that becomes more important than the self. And it also gives us protection. So there are many different worlds, around us. And like I said, there are many different beings, that some of them are a little demonic and some of them are very angelic. And we want to be opening up only to those that are very, very good. And so that also means the heart has to be full of love. It is from the level of heart that when the heart is, not fully open, not fully in love, we also allow other energies in. And Divine Mother explained this so beautifully. When we are full of love, we are full of consciousness. And then where is consciousness, nothing else can enter. And so again, that's why we practice and we go into it, sometimes step by step, but that's okay. We take a journey. I sent the email this morning for me morning. I also shared that we will be doing a beautiful solstice retreat at Mount Shasta. I invited Taya Rain from Hawaii and Alex from Los Angeles as well to fly up. And the purpose for this is to truly align with the magnetic energies that will be emanating through Mother Earth. Haruko will be there as well. We will go up to the mountain. I rented some beautiful spaces for us as well in terms of the workshops where we will be doing meditations, chanting, breathing, working with nature. We will be directly at the headwaters, downtown Shasta, the city park. So we have nature all around us. There are some trails as well. It's going to be amazing. You can fill out a form on our event page. It is unfortunately not for free. And the reason for that is, of course, I love doing everything for free, but the cost of renting the spaces and bringing people flying in, it's thousands, of course. And so, we need to pay for the spaces or also. And so that's the reason for that. And so if you want to be on the list where I send the emails every day, just simply go to our website and sign up for a newsletter. And then I send it whenever there's something to announce. Again, I'll give my best every single day. We're going to be doing, morning to evening, and then give people a break. Accommodation will be, everybody arranges their own. There are so many different options at Mount Shasta. So you can work with Airbnb, little motels. There are lofts downtown that are very beautiful. The lofts are completely new. They're about $100 a night for a beautiful loft. So again, so many different options to choose from for accommodation. Mount Shasta is very magical, very powerful. If you cannot do it, of course, I would say, we will do everything online as well. For those of you who cannot come in person, absolutely. I'm just giving that opportunity for those of you who want to experience Mount Shasta. And so I'm going to now play, if you don't mind. I know that's a little bit late, but I wanted to do the decree to the electrons again. And so the retreat will be for summer solstice, 3 full days. And so here we have the decree to the electrons.
I am now ready for the decree to the precious electrons. In the name of the almighty presence of God, I am, and through the full power of the threefold flame pulsating in my heart, I speak directly to the intelligence within every electron of precious life energy existing in my earthly bodies and the earthly bodies of every soul evolving on earth. Blessed electrons, through the power of God, I am. I command that the flame of purity in the central core of your being now expand, expand, and expand continuously and permanently. Through the power of God, I am. I direct the crystalline white flame of purity to remove any shadows cloaking the electrons within my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies. Remove any shadows cloaking the electrons within the physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies of every man, woman, and child. And remove any shadows cloaking the remaining electrons existing in the physical, etheric, mental, and emotional strata of planet Earth. O sacred flame of purity, cast any shadow into the violet flame and transmute every rate of vibration which is discordant. Transmute every rate of vibration that is causing any form of limitation in my life or in the world. As the flame of purity quickens the vibratory rate of each electron, I witness any cloak of darkness now being cast into the violet flame. Any shadows created by my past misuse of God's precious gift of life are instantly transmuted into radiant light. Through the grace of God, I am experiencing this very moment the blazing white light of purity, expanding, expanding, and expanding in every electron on Earth, until anything causing limitation in my life or on the planet can no longer exist. As the power of God, I am. I accept that this purification is being accomplished now, even as I call, through the most intensified activity of the flame of purity ever known on Earth. I accept that this purification is victoriously accomplished now. I accept that the flame of purity will daily and hourly intensify within the core of purity in every electron, every time I make this call. I am the immaculate concept of my I am presence, abiding within my fifth dimensional solar light bodies. I am holding the sacred space until all life on this sweet earth is wholly ascended and free. And so it is, beloved I am. I now invoke a cosmic dispensation from our Father, Mother God on behalf of the precious electrons. In the full power and authority of the presence of God, I am. I make this call to our Father God, the celestial giver of all life, and to our Mother God, the beloved Holy Spirit. I invoke a cosmic dispensation that no longer may the electronic light substance of the universe be misqualified or imperfectly closed by the sons and daughters of God. I invoke a cosmic dispensation wherein the electrons will be invulnerably charged with purity's flame in action, and passing through humanity's earthly bodies, which are the open doors to its expression in the physical world, the electronic light will remain within an invincible armor of divine love, emitting perfection, but allowing none of the discord of our physical, etheric, mental, or emotional vehicles to change the vibratory action, color, or sound of its comforting presence. I now contemplate for a moment what I have just decreed, and I begin to fathom the blessing humanity's heartfelt call to the flame of purity is for the precious electrons serving all life now in the physical world. I realize as never before that I have come to Earth to love life free, and through my concentrated efforts, so I shall. And so it is, beloved, I am.
And so it is.